Here is number 99.
Can't believe.
Just hanging out, eh?
Team in Seattle.
Hi, Wayne. You're on line one. Welcome to Hockey Central at noon.
Greatest Oiler of all time.
Yeah. That's the last time I go to a football game.
Now, forget all this stuff around the Oilers. What did you think of the last play of the game?
I had already left. I didn't see it till I got home. We tried to beat the traffic. We're a LA crowd. You leave early. You leave early.
So Wayne,
we didn't see it because we got in the car, my son and I, to catch a flight home because he had school today. So we wanted to get back last night. So we left right around 8 o'clock, 8:15. So I missed it.
I didn't think there was a flight out of Seattle back to LA that time.
It stops in San Francisco. And, they have to change planes.
Now, with the climate that's going, you've been in Phoenix for a while or a long time now. What are I read all this stuff about the Edmonton Oilers movement. What snowball chance in hell is there that Gary Bettman and the Board of Governors are going to approve a move of the Edmonton Oilers out of Canada to an American city? What is the chance that could ever happen?
Probably zero.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just don't see it happening. And, I think over time here, cooler heads are going to prevail, and Daryl and the city will hammer out a deal and get it done. They're probably a lot closer than other cities have been over the years in getting a deal done. So I can't see them moving. I mean, it's one of the greatest franchises in all professional sports. Why would you don't move a great franchise like that? So hopefully cooler heads prevail and they all sit down and get a deal done.
So were you there in any official capacity last night?
Zero. I don't know. I just went to watch a hockey game. I know. I tell people I'm not involved with the National Hockey League, and sometimes people go, "Well, you are," but I'm really not. It's just one of those things where I was invited to go to a football game, and I said, "Why not? I'd love to go." So my son and I went, but to any official capacity, absolutely zero. I have no stake or no claim in any team in the National Hockey League whatsoever, and went there to enjoy a football game. Simple as that.
When you look at how long people have been waiting for a new rink in Edmonton, I think the frustration may be now that we see even a city, Quebec City, have a shovel in the ground. They don't even have a team.
They got the Remparts.
Yeah, they got. There's talk of Markham being very close here in the Toronto area.
Uh-huh.
And I gotta think that eventually, when push comes to shove, I know that I know where Doug stands and you stand, but at the end of the day, Cates owns the Oilers, and there is an option for him to move if he has to.
Not without the approval of the Board of Governors.
Well, why would the governors approve a rink that's not conducive?
Or they may force him to sell before he is allowed to move it. They may not let him move it.
Yeah. I think there's a level of frustration for people, especially in that building. And, even when you played, that building was starting to be a little outdated.
Well, I kind of like the building, but that's just my personal opinion.
Would they take the statue? The
I
statue would go.
I had a lot of fun in that building. I think you said it best. There's so much going on around, and who knows, ultimately, it's between Daryl and the city and commissioner's office to what transpires here over the next 3 to 6 months. But as I say to people, I just can't imagine a deal not getting done. He's come to the table with some big dollars, and the city's come to the table with some big dollars. They seem to be ahead of the game more than other cities who have tried to build new arenas. They seem to be very close to getting a deal done. So hopefully, ultimately, both sides are happy and they get a beautiful new building built in downtown Edmonton that'll keep the Oilers there for another 100 years,
Wayne, take the listeners and the viewers into the world of Wayne Gretzky. I would imagine you get pitched all the time, and even for a group in Seattle, why wouldn't they for 5 minutes want to link you to any story and grab any publicity that they can? Yeah. Does this happen to you constantly? I mean, between you and your advisor, Darren Blake, do you just sit there and deflect everything?
Yeah, it's funny because this summer, I summer in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and, it was a Wednesday afternoon game, and I decided to take my two boys to Seattle to watch a Yankee game. And by the time I got home, people had me building nice rinks in every part of the Seattle area, and I was flabbergasted, to say the least. Listen, the one thing about the National Hockey League that people got to understand, Phoenix is a great example. The National Hockey League does not want franchises to move. They want to build those franchises, stabilize those franchises, and keep those fans who have supported those teams comfortable. So I just can't imagine Edmonton moving out of the city of Edmonton. And, I'm telling, what I'm saying now is the exact same thing. I can't imagine the deal not getting done and the team moving out of Edmonton. But, I guess all I can do is say that I'm not involved with the NHL, but it's up to other people to sort of try to link the dots, I guess. But the reality is I don't see myself in the National Hockey League in the next little while. Not because for any other reason, just that the timing's not right for me to be in the National Hockey League. It's the greatest game in the world, and my goodness, as I said a million times, everything I have in my life is because of the National Hockey League and the game of hockey. And right now, I'm a fan. I enjoy watching the games. I hope that the business side of things from the commissioner's office and the NHLPA can, get worked out here, and we can get hockey back where it belongs, in the arenas and on TV, with guys playing here in the National Hockey League, not in the KHL and not in Switzerland and not in Sweden.
Wayne, you've been in markets that are tough to pay the bills. In Phoenix, and even LA has not been a big moneymaker over the years. So, when you've got 9 or 10 franchises that make money every year, you've got another 10 that make money if they have a playoff run, and then you got 10 disasters. How do you really fix this problem? I mean, I understand the 50-50 and all those things, but how do you really fix the problem when you've got, and you know it better than I do. You've been in some tough markets. How do you fix it?
Oh my goodness. If you and I could fix this problem, we wouldn't be talking on the radio. We'd be sitting in some office somewhere.
And making a hell of a lot. Well, I'd be making more money. You'd be making less.
That's the age-old question, and I think you said it best. The realization is probably 10 teams make money and probably 10 teams break even and 10 teams are losing money. And so that's sort of exactly what you're saying. And the problem is that the 10 teams that are losing money are losing drastic money. So we got to figure out a formula. Hey, listen, there's only, so many franchises that have the wherewithal, places like Vancouver and places like the Rangers and places like Toronto. But like as you said, there's the other side of it too, the Floridas and Phoenix, and even Dallas now has struggled over the last couple of years of putting people into the seats. And, part of that has to do with the economy right now. The economy's not great, and, it's very expensive to go to hockey games. And then you have cities that sell out every game and still struggle because the average ticket price, say in St. Louis, are not that of what they are in places like Toronto or New York. So I don't know what the right formula is.
Well, they want 50-50. Would 50-50 be fair in your mind?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
When I was a player and I was involved in sitting there and getting the guidance from the Players Association and from agents and such, the one thing that I always found to be sort of abnormal was ex-players sort of commenting on the situation or the scenario that's being transpired. Because quite honestly, I don't know all the facts. I'm not involved. I don't know what the Players Association knows, and I don't know what the commissioner office and the owners know because I'm not involved. And so for me to comment to what is right and what is wrong is unfair, A, to the players, and B, to the ownership side. So, that's a question that needs to be answered by, the Players Association and the top players and the guys who are on the negotiating committee. Those are the guys that need to answer those questions. I can't answer that because I'm not involved, and I don't think it's fair for a guy like me to make a statement because I'm not in the day-to-day negotiations.
Well, so for the record, Wayne Gretzky is telling Doug McLean you're not allowed to mention 50-50 again on this show.
And for future conversation, when Wayne Gretzky says...
Also, Wayne said that I would get a major pay raise if we got in a negotiating committee, and he'd have to take a pay cut.
I will say this. There's only one
that a
National
private
Hockey
jet?
League. There's only one NHL. It's the greatest league in the world. And we're going to Europe and places like that. It's just not the same. It really isn't. The cities that we have here and the game that we have here and the history of the National Hockey League, there's only one NHL. And you know what? I just hope that they can rectify this, because we need to see hockey back where it belongs, and that's in the arenas and not on the business page.
Amen to that.
I've got to get one of those NetJet portions, too.
No. I'm just glad they didn't lose Wayne's luggage in Billings, Montana, when he had to switch planes.
No, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Thanks for...
We got a nice little rink there in Coeur d'Alene, and we got some NHL guys that skate there quite a bit, and guys like Barrett Jackman and Brendan Morrow. That's what those guys are working out to get ready.
We may have to do a feature on that soon.
USHL franchise going there.
You hear that, Christine Simpson? Thanks your next feature.
Thanks for calling up, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Well, I hope I cleared up. Hey, listen, you guys, thanks a lot. Have a great day.
You too.
Good job.